Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another wonderful episode of Help for the Guildless. My name, of course, is Antwon, and I have something special once again. Now, I don't know if you saw it, but I did a response to the unboxing of masculinity. And this was brought to me by a fan. Apparently, Dylan has a whole series of these things, ranging from everything to the 2016 election to Islamophobia. So on that suggestion, I have decided I'm going to do a series. And this entire series is going to be me basically proving that Dylan and Seriously TV has no idea what they actually are talking about. This video is actually going to be about Hollywood whitewashing. That's right, you heard me, Hollywood whitewashing. Now, as fun as this is going to be, I have to give you the explanation of what whitewashing really is. You see, whitewashing did happen. It is something in Hollywood's history, and it's something they are not proud of. What it was is you take a role that was made for a minority, and you then cast someone who is white in that role. That's where we got blackface. If you want a good example of what whitewashing really is, watch Tropic Thunder. I know, it's a comedy, it's great, it's hilarious, yes. Tropic Thunder is a perfect example of whitewashing in the case of Robert Downey Jr.'s character. A white person getting their blackface on to play a black character. That's whitewashing. So, with that in mind, I want you to go through this video with me with an open heart and a awakened mind, because, well, Dylan and Seriously TV don't understand whitewashing. Grab your favorite booze, or whatever headache medicine you're going to need, because this is going to be 3 minutes or so of complete and utter stupidity.
Sorry, Tim Burton.
What does Tim Burton have to do with it?
Today, I'm unboxing Hollywood whitewashing. Hey guys, I'm Dylan Marron, back with another unboxing video, and today I'm digging into a product that is guaranteed to be at your local movie theater.
Only it's not. I want you to think long and hard where you're going with this, because I sense you're about to shove your foot so far in your mouth you can taste the original horse that the shoe leather came from.
Praise the White Lord. It's the Holy Bible, rewritten to falsely depict reality.
What does this have to do with Hollywood? I ask this, but I know I'm not going to get an answer. He doesn't give a reason for this. His smug little fucking smile and the everybody becomes white caption is all we get. There's no point to it. This is the first point in a very long 3 minutes. Like I said, strap in.
Well, that's thoughtful. It is an envelope for people of color. Let's see what's inside. Nice! It's service industry props. A duster, a keyboard, a garden hose, nail polish.
Are you honestly saying that Hollywood has never portrayed white people in any of these jobs? At all? Well, I'm assuming with the keyboard you're talking about tech industry or office work. So I'm going to point out something really quickly. It is actually one of the most popular Mike Judge films that there are. It's been quoted and re-quoted, and it's pretty damn funny. Office Space. Well, they're office workers. I don't know what you're trying to say with the keyboard. There was also the television show, The Office. All white, all working behind keyboards. But of course, you can't say that because it will ruin whatever narrative you actually are trying to push. Gardeners. Well, here. In 1979, Peter Sellers starred in a movie called Being There, where he played a gardener. And, of course, the feather duster. Well, of course, all maids and housekeepers have never been white in Hollywood, except for one of the most popular television shows in the 70s. The Brady Bunch had a maid. Her name was Alice, and she was white as the fucking driven snow. Now, nail polish I'll give you, because you're talking about nail salons and things like that. And even in reality, in the real world, you are hard-pressed to find a nail salon that is not owned by someone of an Asian persuasion. So, 3 out of 4. Now, I know what you're going to say. I'm cherry-picking. Well, I kind of have to, because I'm not going to list every movie that they're going to have these examples, because this video would be hours long. Honestly, off the top of my head, I was able to give you that many examples. Think of what a quick fucking Google search would produce.
Don't know which prop is right for you? No worries. You can just refer to this handy map. Gardener.
Alright, you have a handy-dandy map, and, well, you have a generalization going. So I'm not going to go through everything because, well, again, it would take forever. So I'm only going to talk about a few of these. The first one you see in that big Asian expanse where it says food delivery. Well, here, let me ask you a question. When you think of a pizza delivery boy, what do you think of? More than likely, you think of a white stoner. When you think of McDonald's, what do you think of? You don't think of young black teenagers. No, of course not. That's KFC. You think of white teenagers. Now, I don't know if you know this because you are rather young, but at one point you could get things like Chinese food delivered, and in major metropolitan areas that have places like a Chinatown or a Little Italy or a Greek area, they still do it. And since the place is called Chinatown or Little Italy, when you get food from there delivered, more often than not, the nationality of the delivery person matches the food that you ordered. Now, this next one we're talking about is indentured servants. What he actually means by that is slavery. Now, of course, it's not important to bring up actual slavery that's going on in the Middle East right now, or the slavery of the Irish from the English, or anything of that nature. No, he's talking about black slavery in North America. Because that's the only slavery that matters, of course. Yes, it happened. But if I were to make a movie about slavery, and I cast a white actor to play the slave in a historical piece, 1, you'd tell me I'm whitewashing, 2, you'd tell me I'm a racist bigot, and 3, if I didn't cast a black actor, I would be disingenuous. There's a reason Jamie Foxx was cast as Django. Aside from the fact that he is an amazing actor, Django had to be played by a black man. Sean Connery could not play Django. Although I'd like to see that. That would be very interesting. Now, let's go to the gardeners and the maids. I like how you generalize an entire group of people. Because I can guarantee Brazilians see themselves differently from Argentinians, and Argentinians see themselves differently than Chileans. I see what this is. This is not whitewashing. You don't understand what whitewashing is, I forgot. You are talking about stereotyping. Stereotyping is something completely different than whitewashing. And I love how you put heroes twice in North America, one for Canada, one for the US, where you are too stupid to understand that the whole of North America includes Mexico. So, by that jump of logic. It already debunks your stereotype about Hispanic people being stereotyped into gardeners and maids. And as for the villains encompassing all of Russia, again, you are too young to understand what the Cold War was. You see, before the Cold War of the 80s, movies' favorite villains, which you have labeled heroes here, were Germans. After the Cold War started, it switched to Russians and the Chinese. You dumb fuck.
Mucho gusto. All right, next up is, it's just a ring. I don't really know.
Don't go there. You're not gonna like the response.
What's...
Yes, you fucking went there. Alright, let's have it.
Whoa! It's a magical ring from a fantasy film to help you understand what's realistic and what isn't. For example, a powerful ring in a world with wizards and elves, totally realistic. Any brown people in that world, totally unrealistic.
I don't know if you know this, since you've decided to take on Lord of the Rings and group it as the all-encompassing fantasy movie. But there were people of color and different races in Lord of the Rings. Now, I don't know if you didn't read the books, I don't know if you didn't see the movies, but from this bullshit you're spouting, it's obvious that you didn't. So, I'm going to give you a quick example. The first example, of course, is in the third movie. There was a great war. Sauron gathered armies from all over Middle-earth. One of those armies came packed to the gills with war elephants. Now, I know I remember the scene that Legolas was up on top, got on top of the elephant, did a bunch of really cool elven stuff, and rode the elephant by the tusks down as it died. Gimli turned around and went, "That only counts as one!" The race of people who controlled those elephants were, as you put it, brown people. You see, to get the scope of Lord of the Rings, you have to understand medieval times. And I don't mean dinner and tournament. I mean medieval times. The Dark Ages. You see, if we're taking a world where magic exists, and the only technologically advanced form of seafaring travel to get from continent to continent is a sailing ship, you have to understand that traveling to other basic worlds is uncommon. And what I mean by this is traveling to different city-states, traveling to different countries did not happen. The area that Lord of the Rings takes place, to put it into perspective, would be Europe. That's where it was. For the most part, Europe is predominantly white. Rohan and everything like that is white. Now, example 2. You have an issue with it being whitewashed. I'm assuming that is basically because there are no brown main characters. That makes you racist. The only way you can identify with someone is if they are the same color as you. That makes you racist. You're supposed to identify with the hobbits because they represent the everyman. They are surrounded by warriors and people who are bigger than them and more powerful than them, and they have been thrust into this great grand adventure. You are an idiot if you cannot relate to someone like Sam or Merry or Pippin. And fine, you don't want to take my word for Lord of the Rings here. Here's a few, just a few off the top of my head, fantasy epics, blockbusters that have more than a few brown people in them for you. Harry Potter, Percy Jackson, and the Hunger Games. But of course, you can't talk about those because they don't fit the narrative you're pushing.
This is pretty boring and simple, but it's a desk fan.
This is gonna have something to do with romantic comedies, isn't it?
And it doesn't even work. Allie, could you give me a hand with this?
Yep, romantic comedies. Wonderful.
Oh! Remember, for the most part, only white people get to fall in love on screen. So this feature doesn't really work for people like me, but if I'm lucky, I'll get to be the best friend. It's much more likely, though, that I'll be rendered completely invisible.
Waiting to Exhale, 1995. Something New, 2006. Black Coffee, 2014. Mississippi Masala, 1991. The Brothers, 2001. And Nothing But a Man, 1964. And that's with a simple Google search. You want Mexican romantic comedies? Okay, here we go. Oh, I've got to screw these names up. Y Tu Mama Tambien, Pulling Strings, Like Water for Chocolate, Love in the Time of Hysteria, and A la Mala, and Nostros los Pobres. And those range from 1948 to 2015. Simple Google search. Do you want one that's more recent, that kind of flipped it on its head? Hutch, with Will Smith, where it was a black man in a romantic comedy where the white man played the sidekick. Yes, he had a semi-story in the end of it, but it was pretty much ignored for Will Smith's character. Simple Google search.
Alright, so there's one last thing in here.
Thank God there's only one more, because I'm running out of whiskey.
And it looks like it is just scrap metal, which is really weird, but oh, no, I've read about this. You can melt this down and mold it into the shape of an award statuette, and then paint it gold. And once you do that, form a committee of white voters, but saying white voters is a little too on the nose, so give them a fancy name like the Academy.
What that noise was me literally doing a facepalm. The Academy. Yes, we all get it, you're talking about the Academy Awards, or the Oscars. The committee of voters is not all old white people. There are two ways that you get to become a member of the Academy. The first way, which is the more difficult way, is... okay, they're both pretty fucking difficult, but the first one is the more difficult than the other. You have to be voted in. Your name comes up, everyone in the Academy then says yay or nay. Most of the time it's nay, because they don't want people who are permanent extras to be part of the Academy. You have to have a SAG membership. You have to have some starring role. You can't just walk on set, get paid $50 for a year's worth of work each day. The second way, which is remarkably easier, if not still hard in itself, is win a fucking Academy Award! I don't know if you understand this, but that means that the Academy is an ever-growing, ever-expansive version of a committee, which has a demographic ranging about the same percentage-wise as a demographic of America. But no, of course, you don't understand this. You just want to say it's a bunch of old white people keeping the black man down. Cuba Gooding Jr. won an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor, his first movie out, for Jerry Maguire. He's part of the Academy. For the love of God, Dylan, please learn about what you're talking about. Don't just spit propaganda because you think it sounds good.
then spend decades handing out replicas of this hunk of metal to the most commercially viable movie stars.
By commercially viable, I believe you mean popular. You know, the ones that we pay money to see, the ones that we enjoy watching, the ones that we want to see up on screen, portraying the characters that we love. Is that what you mean by commercially viable? Okay, let's talk about commercially viable then, shall we? I'm going to go through a list of 15 Oscar winners for Best Actor, starting from 2001 to 2016. Tell me if they're not commercially viable because of how popular they are. The first one, 2001, Denzel Washington, followed by Adrian Brody, Sean Penn, Jamie Foxx, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Forrest Whitaker, Daniel Day-Lewis, Sean Penn once again, Jeff Bridges, Colin Firth, Jean Dujardin, I know I screwed that one up, Daniel Day-Lewis for a second time, Matthew McConaughey, Eddie Redmayne, and Leonardo DiCaprio. You know, all of those people I just listed can be picked out of a lineup as being good actors. Not just good, but fucking amazing. But by all means, let's boil this down to them just being voted in by a jury of their peers because they are the most commercially viable. If that were true, Johnny Depp would fucking win half of those. It wouldn't have taken till 2015 for Leonardo DiCaprio to win. Do you understand? Commercially viable. Fucking moron.
Broadcast the ceremony once a year so that home viewers develop a sense of idolatry for the scrap metal you call an award.
It has nothing to do with creating idolatry. What it has to do with is us seeing our favorite stars outside of a movie screen, seeing how they really are. You see, they become popular for doing something that everyone does when they're kids, which is pretend. They just happen to pretend better than everyone else. It's not idolatry. We're not idolizing the Oscar. We are seeing our favorites outside of the norm. We get to see them with their families. We get to see them with their new mate. We get to see who they really are. And then because we want to pull for our favorite, we want to see them win. Because we enjoy watching what they do.
After almost a century of doing this, you'll realize that you've helped define what good art is, and home viewers will blindly agree.
Art is subjective, you ninny. And honestly, if we had been doing this for a century, don't you think that we wouldn't need the award show? We would just hand them, whoever we chose, the Oscar. Because we have home viewers blindly agreeing. That means the home viewers are going to go see specific people, and those people only, like Denzel Washington or Forrest Whitaker. How about Jamie Foxx? I guess the home viewers blindly agreed on those.
If you follow all these steps correctly, the winners of this scrap metal will look just like the committee who voted for them.
One can only hope that the winners look like the committee that voted them in, since all of the Oscar winners from the last 88 years are part of the Academy. Here, let me ask you a question. I know you can't answer it because you don't understand what whitewashing really is, but let me ask you a question. How many white entertainers have won a BET award? I'm not even asking for the past. I'm talking about in 2016. How many won an award? Here, I'll tell you how many white entertainers won. The answer is 0. Video of the Year, Beyonce. Coca-Cola Viewer's Choice, Beyonce. Best Female R&B and Pop Artist, Beyonce. Best Female Hip Hop Artist, Nicki Minaj. Best Group, Drake and Future. Best New Artist, Bryson Tiller. Best Actress, Taraji Henderson. Taraji? I don't know how to say that. It's spelled weird. Young Stars Award, Amandala Stenberg. Sportswoman of the Year, Serena Williams. Best International Act, Africa, Black Coffee. Fandemonium Award, Beyonce. Video Director of the Year, Director X. Centric Award, Beyonce. Best Male R&B Pop Artist, Bryson Tiller. Best Male Hip Hop Artist, Drake. Best Collaboration, Rihanna featuring Drake. Best Gospel Artist, Kirk Franklin. Best Actor, Michael B. Jordan. Best Movie, Straight Out of Compton. Sportsman of the Year, Stephen Curry. And Best International Act for the UK, Skepta. If you have an issue with hashtag Oscars so white, but you don't have a problem with, hashtag BET Awards so black, you are part of the problem. You see, the BET Awards, BET stands for Black Entertainment Television, which is part of Hollywood. Yes, I understand the Oscars are the epitome of award shows, but do you understand how many there really are? There's hundreds all around the world. To name a few, you have the Academy Awards, Nighttime Emmys, Daytime Emmys. You have the SAG Awards, People's Choice Awards, MTV Video Awards, MTV Music Awards, BET Awards, Nickelodeon Teen Choice Awards. There's tons. Each one has a committee. And since you believe that a committee looks exactly like the winners, I guess the BET Awards are so fucking racist that they should probably be taken off of television.
Cool. Alright friends, there it is, Hollywood whitewashing, and if you still don't think this product exists, don't worry. I'll see you opening weekend at Ghost in the Shell. Bye!
You don't know what whitewashing is, and you want to bring up Ghost in the Shell? Listen, Sergeant Makoto is a fucking program. She is the Ghost in the Shell. It can be whatever it fucking wants. It chooses to take the female form and the body that it's in. Again, I'm going to state the difference between what you've been spouting for the last 3 minutes and what the truth of the matter is. What whitewashing is taking a role that is made for a minority and purposefully casting a white actor or actress in it. Which is why we have blackface. What you are talking about is stereotyping. And don't even get me started on the fact that you have no idea about award shows or what it actually means. You see, the Academy is a group of winners who are the peers of the people they are awarding. That's why it's so prestigious to even be nominated. It means the people that are your co-workers, the people that you idolized when you were younger, recognize you as the peak of that year. You, Dylan, have no idea what you're talking about. This is the second video in a series that you don't do any fucking research. You just go off of what you've heard. And I'm going to be doing all of them. But this is all the time I have for this one. Like I said, there are 12 so far. 2 down, 10 to go. Please join me next time when I tear apart the unboxing of police brutality. That one should be fun. Anyway, my name is Antwon. Thank you for listening. If you liked what I had to say, please let me know in the comments. Hit like, share, subscribe. It really helps grow this channel. If you didn't like what I had to say, tell me in the comments. Point something out that I said wrong. If you have evidence, I will gladly have a discussion with you. You can follow me on the Facebook page, and you can follow Cole on Twitch, Twitter, and Tumblr. And until next time, my friends, I say to you, have a wonderful evening.